Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world today. I hope you're having a good one. I'm B-Tick. This is the Balloon Sculptor. And I just want to encourage you, wherever you are in your balloon journey, be okay with that. But at the same time, want to go farther, want to get better. Pick something. And don't pick everything at once. If you are trying to juggle too many things at once, you're just going to have something fall. And that might be discouraging. So pick one thing at a time. Really work on that thing. So for several years, as I was learning how to do balloons, I would try to about every 1 year to 3 years pick one thing, just one thing. And I worked on that one thing more than anything else during my time because I wanted to make sure that my skills were building upon themselves and I could really fully get where I wanted to go. Now, one thing I worked on over the years was speed. Now, a lot of balloon twisters ask me, how do you get so fast? Now, for those who don't know, I actually have a world record for blowing up balloons by mouth and making them into animals. My first time of doing it, I did in 24 hours. I did 6,176 of them. That's a lot of blowing up balloons by mouth and working those fingers. Several years later, about 9 years later, I helped a gentleman in Dallas beat me, and he challenged me to go try to beat him back, and I did. I beat him by 2,000 balloons and now have it at 8,298 balloons, I believe it is. First one's in the Guinness Book. Second one's been verified by other companies. But the thing is speed is a part of how I learned to do balloons because I knew that to make the fancy things that I wanted to make, especially if I had a line, that wasn't always going to work. So if I could still spend 2 minutes a kid or 3 minutes per kid, but make really cool things in that 2 to 3 minutes, then it worked out better for me. So let me show you some of the ways I worked on my speed. Now, this first one here is just a simple finger exercise. And the idea is to do as many bubbles as you can while going. So I know you can't see too much, but now you're seeing through the bottom as I'm making these different bubbles and they're going. And if you look carefully at my face, I'm not actually watching what I'm doing. My fingers are doing this by muscle memory. I'm feeling my way through by using my left and right hand, and I'm still able to talk and have a conversation. And in a couple seconds, and you can tell there's some that are a little bit bigger. That's kind of one of my first ones. But besides that, oh, there's a small one right there by my nose. But besides that, they're pretty consistent all the way to the end. So if you do this enough, you will get improve your speed. But you'll also really improve on your touch and how that balloon can feel in your fingers as you're going. And you'll find imperfections in the balloons. You'll find weaknesses. You'll even sometimes figure out when a balloon's about ready to break and you can just get rid of it before it busts. But that's one skill set that I do often. And I really want to encourage you to work on your speed once you get some of the other details. But that is a good speed drill. So one another drill that I often do is when I saw at a Shriners competition for balloons, oh, back in the mid 90s. Now, I've been doing balloons since 1990, roughly. And this would have been 95, 96, maybe. And a guy did for his competition piece with one balloon what he called four turtles in a row. And over the years, it took me a long time to get to that point where I could do four turtles in a row. But in that period, I found that it makes a great skill set challenge also. And the way I do it is a little bit different, and sometimes I even get more than four turtles. But what I do is I have Papa Turtle, Mama Turtle, and the baby turtles. So each one gets a little bit smaller, and maybe you can see what I'm talking about here. I'll let a bubble go. So if you look right there, there is your head of your turtle, the shell, and the 4 feet right there. And by doing this over and over again, and making each one a little bit smaller. It makes you really concentrate on your bubble size, making sure everything's about consistent as possible. It also really makes you work with how the balloon is pressurized. So right now I have three turtles. One, two, three. Let's go for a fourth one here. And one more bubble. And roll that through. And there we go. Four little turtles in a row. Daddy, mama, big brother, little sister. And that's another great little skill set to work on. Make sure your bowls are nice about accurate sizes. And want to have some fun? Blindfold yourself while doing it. Now, doing blindfolded balloons or behind your back, again, all it is muscle memory. And I don't have a blindfold with me right now, and plus it kind of look a little ridiculous, but I'll do something a little different. So, so what I will do is I'll close my eyes so you can see. I'll look away. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a teddy bear. So the thing to do in your mind is to build the same sculpture so you know what size bubbles you have. Make sure that they're all about consistent. And again, this is as much about muscle memory as anything else. Now, muscle memory, I would say, is one of the most critical tools in becoming a balloon artist because your body is only going to need to do so many different techniques. It's going to have to do some. Oh, I lost an ear. Let's see if I can rebuild that. Because with only so many different techniques, your body only has to do so many movements. So let's see. We got that. Got my four. Now, over the years, I'll probably say it's safe to say I've built several thousand teddy bears. And let's see how he looks. There we go. So again, this is a great time to do some science experiments. Do something about 15, 20 times. Close your eyes. Have some fun with it. Challenge yourself. Do it against the stop clock. See what you can do. And have some fun with it. Then go someplace and wow your friends, wow your grandkids, your kids, whoever. And it's a fun little party game. So those are just some things I want to show you to help encourage your skill sets. Because when it comes really down to it, the techniques are one thing. Doing them is another thing. Doing them so that it looks good and it's comfortable so you don't need to think is a whole nother level. And that's where I want you to get to. I want you to be able to succeed in your balloon journey because I want you to be able to put smiles on people's faces. Because remember, smiles are free. A thank you just takes a moment, but an encouraging word can change a life forever. So, y'all have a great night. Till next time, see y'all later. Bye bye.